Most people have been praying wrong their whole life, and nobody told them. They pray every single day, asking, requesting, speaking, and then they close their eyes, say, "Amen," and get up. They wonder why they feel like God is far away. They wonder why prayer feels like talking to a wall. But the answer isn't to pray louder or longer or with better words. The answer is to stop talking. Today, I'm going to show you something that changed my entire relationship with God. It's called silent prayer. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why the most powerful moment in prayer isn't when you speak. It's when you go completely quiet. Stay with me, because this is going to shift something inside you. Let's start with something honest. Think about the last time you prayed. What did you do? You probably started talking. You asked God for things, help with a situation, protection for your family, healing for someone you love, strength to get through a hard week. And all of that is good. There's nothing wrong with asking. But here's the question. After you finished talking, did you wait? Did you sit there in silence and actually listen? Most people don't. Most people treat prayer like a drive-through window. You pull up, you place your order, and you drive away expecting it to be ready. But God isn't a drive-through. He's a father, and any good relationship with a father, with a friend, with anyone you love is a two-way conversation. The problem is we've been doing all the talking and none of the listening. And here's the thing. This isn't some new idea I made up. This goes all the way back to the Bible. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Not be busy, not keep speaking. Be still. No. There's something that happens in the stillness that can't happen anywhere else. Now, let me explain why silence is so hard for most people. The moment you stop talking and try to be quiet, really quiet, something strange happens. Your mind doesn't go still. It gets louder. Suddenly you're thinking about what you need to do today, what someone said to you yesterday, whether you left something at work, what's for dinner, that awkward conversation you had 3 years ago that you still replay for some reason. Sound familiar? This is exactly why most people give up on silent prayer within 30 seconds. They sit down, they try to be quiet, and their mind immediately becomes a hurricane. So they either go back to talking, or they give up entirely and think, prayer just doesn't work for me. But here's what they don't understand. That noise in your mind, that chaos, that's not a sign you're doing it wrong. That's actually the starting point. Learning to move through that noise, learning to let it pass without grabbing onto it, that's the practice. That's where the growth happens. Think of it like this. If you've never run before in your life and you try to run a mile on your first day, you're going to feel terrible. You're going to be out of breath after 30 seconds. But that doesn't mean running doesn't work. It means you're a beginner, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a beginner. Silent prayer is the same. The more you practice it, the quieter your mind gets. And the quieter your mind gets, the more you can actually hear what God is trying to say to you. So what does it actually mean to hear God in silence? Let me be clear about this, because I think people have a strange idea of what this looks like. They imagine some big dramatic moment, a loud voice from the sky, a vision, some supernatural experience. And sometimes, yes, God moves in dramatic ways. But most of the time, it's much quieter than that. It's a thought that suddenly comes to you. And it's not like your regular thoughts. It has a different quality to it. It's peaceful, even if it's challenging. It brings clarity where there was confusion. It reminds you of something you forgot. It gives you a feeling of knowing what to do next, even when you couldn't figure it out on your own 5 minutes ago. It might be a sudden sense of peace that makes no logical sense given your situation. It might be a clear impression to call someone you haven't spoken to in months. It might be a word, just one word, that lands in your heart and means everything to you in that moment. The Bible calls this the still small voice. In 1 Kings chapter 19, Elijah was exhausted, defeated, and hiding in a cave, and God came to him. But God wasn't in the strong wind. He wasn't in the earthquake. He wasn't in the fire. He was in the still, small voice, the quiet whisper after all the noise. That's what we're trying to reach. The quiet place after the noise. Now here's something that might surprise you. You don't need a perfect environment for this. You don't need to be in a church. You don't need candles or soft music or a mountain view. You can do this in your bedroom, in your car before you start the engine, on a lunch break, in the 5 minutes before the rest of your house wakes up. What matters is your intention. You are choosing to stop, to be still, and to make space for God. That choice, that intentional pause, is itself an act of faith. You're saying, I believe you're here. I believe you speak. And I'm going to be quiet long enough to hear it. That's powerful. Don't underestimate that. Let me walk you through exactly how to do this. And I want you to actually try this. Not later, not someday, but today. Even after this video ends, find 10 minutes. Here's what you do. Find a place where you can be physically still. Sit down. You can close your eyes or keep them open with a soft gaze. Whatever feels most natural to you. Take a slow, deep breath, and then another one. For the first 2 or 3 minutes, just breathe. Don't try to force anything. Don't pressure yourself to feel something. Just breathe, and with every exhale, imagine you're letting go of everything you've been carrying. The stress, the to-do list, the worries, the noise. You're not ignoring those things. You're just setting them down for a few minutes. They'll still be there when you come back to them. But right now, you're choosing something else. After those first few minutes, when your breathing has slowed and your body has started to relax, you can say a simple, short prayer. Something like, God, I'm here. I'm listening. Speak to me. That's it. You don't need anything more complicated than that. Then go quiet. Now the thoughts will come. Let them. Don't fight them. That actually makes it worse. Instead, imagine each thought like a cloud passing across the sky. You notice it. You don't grab it. You don't follow it. You just let it pass. And then you gently bring your attention back to the quiet, over and over again. Notice the thought. Let it pass. Come back to the quiet. Some people like to focus on a single word or short phrase during this time. Something like peace, or I am here, or just the name of God. This gives your mind a gentle anchor so it doesn't drift too far. Every time you notice you've been pulled away by a thought, just softly come back to that word. Do this for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Now I want to talk about something that nobody talks about when it comes to prayer. We live in a world that treats busyness like a badge of honor. Being busy means you're important. Being productive means you matter. If you're resting, you feel guilty. If you're doing nothing, you feel like you're falling behind. And this has infected the way we approach God too. We rush through prayer. We multitask during devotion. We listen to worship music while we're also checking notifications. We're never fully present, not even with God. And then we wonder why we feel disconnected spiritually. We wonder why prayer feels dry and routine and empty. The truth is, God has never stopped speaking. The line has always been open. The signal has always been there. The problem is we're too loud, too busy, too distracted to tune in. Silent prayer is how you tune in. It's how you stop performing for God and start actually being with God. Because here's something that might shake you a little. God doesn't need your words. He already knows everything you're going to say before you say it. He already knows your needs, your fears, your desires. He knows your heart better than you know it yourself. So what does He actually want from you when you pray? He wants you. Just you. Present, available, still, that's it. That's the whole thing. Let me tell you about something that happens to people who start practicing silent prayer regularly. The first thing most people notice is that their anxiety starts to decrease, not because their circumstances changed, but because they found a place inside themselves, a quiet center that isn't shaken by what's happening on the outside. The storm is still there, but they found the eye of the storm, where there's calm. The second thing people notice is that they start making better decisions. Not because they're smarter, but because they've learned to pause before reacting. They've learned to listen before speaking. And that same skill that helps them hear God in prayer starts helping them in every other area of life. The third thing, and this one always surprises people, is that they feel less alone, even when they're physically by themselves, even when the people around them don't understand them. Even in the hardest, darkest moments, they feel like someone is with them, because someone is, and now they've learned to feel that presence. Silent prayer doesn't just change your prayer life, it changes you. I want to address something real before we wrap up. Some of you watching this are going through something really heavy right now, and the idea of sitting in silence sounds terrifying, not peaceful. Because when everything goes quiet, all the pain comes rushing in. All the grief, all the fear, all the questions you don't have answers to. I hear you, and I'm not going to pretend silence is always comfortable. But here's what I want you to consider. What if the silence isn't a place of emptiness, but a place of presence? What if the place where you feel the pain is also the place where healing happens? What if God is waiting for you in the quiet, not to explain everything, but just to be with you in it? You don't have to have it together to sit in silent prayer. You don't have to feel peaceful to start. You can bring your broken heart into the silence. You can bring your confusion. You can bring your anger even. God can handle all of it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just sit there in all your mess and say nothing. Because in that moment, you're trusting that His presence is enough. Even when you have no words, even when nothing makes sense, even when you're not sure what to believe anymore. That kind of trust, the kind that shows up in silence, is one of the deepest forms of faith there is. So here's what I want you to take from this video. Prayer is not just talking to God, it's being with God. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do in prayer is to stop talking and start listening. Silent. Prayer isn't complicated. You don't need special training or a perfect quiet place or years of spiritual experience. You need 10 minutes and the willingness to try. Start today. Find 10 minutes. Sit down, breathe, say a short prayer, then go quiet. Let the thoughts come and go. Come back to the stillness, and stay open to whatever comes. You might feel nothing the first time. You might feel a lot, but either way, you showed up. And that matters more than you know. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. And one day, maybe soon, maybe not right away, you'll sit in the silence, and something will shift. And you'll understand, from the inside, why the Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." Not, "Be still and understand everything." Not, "Be still and get all your answers." Just, "Be still and know." That's enough. He's enough. If this video opened something in you, subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from.